what are you currently building in the Web3 space?
We have actually already built the largest swap application and protocol on TON blockchain, both consumer-facing products and also in an infra product. Why we use TON? That when we started 3 years ago, we realized that the TON blockchain, it had this great potential. We believed, I would say, in this blockchain, and we also realized that not so many applications or protocols existed, so there was a gap. So we see the potential. More people would be using TON because it was becoming, I would say, Telegram native blockchain.
What kind of blockchains are kind of in a big demand between swapping?
We don't know, because we should build that first. Only after that we will know which use case is actually adopted by our users. When we connect the first blockchain, then it will be very easy for us to connect like the others. So it'll take maybe weeks, but it can be done very quickly.
Does it get affected by the AI trading agents in that sense?
It will be, definitely. AI agents, it is the thing, right? Everyone is speaking about this. Well, it may sound easy, like you want to have an agent, you want to tell your agent, trade tokens on my behalf and find the best prices, or just, I have $100, but I want to have, let's say, $200, please do something. And then some magic happens. There is some kind of an AI agent doing some magical stuff, and then users get yields on that. But it may sound simple and easy, but in reality, there are no such use cases as of now. But I'm sure that the best possible use cases will be implemented by us.
Hi everyone, welcome. Today we're day one at Token 2049 Singapore, and I'm here with Andrey Fedorov, CBDO and CMO at Stonfi. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
So can you tell to our audience what are you currently building in the Web3 space?
We are building, and we have actually already built the largest swap application and protocol on TON blockchain. And so by application, I mean that it's a user-facing application, so that when users want to swap any TON-based token, they can use our application to do that. But also we're building a set of DeFi protocols for, again, the TON blockchain, so that other app developers, when they want to enable swaps in their applications, they can use our protocols, they can integrate these protocols in their applications, and that's how they enable swaps in their applications. So we have both consumer-facing products and also in infra products.
That's amazing to hear. So why did you choose TON? Like, where does DeFi stands on TON, and how did you see all the consumer behavior? How is retail acting towards, the demands that you're offering?
Okay, so there are two questions here actually. So the first one, why we use TON, or like why we choose TON. I would say that when we started 3 years ago, we realized that the TON blockchain, it had this great potential. So we understood that, well, we believed, I would say, in this blockchain, and we also realized that not so many applications or protocols existed, so there was a gap. So we see the potential. We understand that I could say that we understood that more people would be using TON because it was becoming, I would say, Telegram native blockchain, and Telegram had and has now a huge user base. So there is this market potential, but at the same time, not so many applications existed, so there was this gap. And in terms of DeFi, yeah, we were considering different options, and DeFi or building some kind of a product to for swaps. So it was, I believe, one of the options, but we thought that it was the best one, because, well, eventually, if you want anyone to trade tokens, or if you want anyone to use these tokens in their applications, right? So in this case, you need some kind of an exchange because users need to be able to swap them, to trade them. So that was the idea, and that's why we built Stonfi. That's why we've chosen TON blockchain, and that's why we've chosen DeFi as our, I would say, um, core. I don't know how to say that. Core thing.
Yeah, you saw the demand that, swapping is a important thing to do. And you saw that, the ton users are always trading on the ton ecosystem. So
Yeah, they were not trading because there were no solutions for that. So that's why we decided that we need to build such a solution. But the thing is, yes, so we understood like if this ecosystem is growing, and it was growing, then eventually people will need some kind of an exchange. So
right.
that's why, yeah.
That's amazing to hear. So can you walk us through like the liquidity fragmentation problem on Ton before Stonfi existed? So like what were kind of like users actually experiencing?
Yes, sure. But also we need to remember that this liquidity fragmentation problem, it exists, and it is like, it's not like something in the past. We still have this, but we're trying to solve that problem, and we are solving it now. So why it exists? So there are multiple DEXs now. There are multiple liquidity pools, actually lots of them. And it means that liquidity sits in different liquidity pools, which means that when users want to swap tokens, they they need to choose a DEX or a liquidity pool to do that, or when there is an application, let's say a wallet or any kind of a game that uses token or some other application, and they enable swaps in their apps. If they want to provide the best prices for their users, they need to choose the right DEX or the right liquidity pool. It is a problem because they need to have multiple integrations, and that's how liquidity is fragmented. Actually, liquidity is, I would say, distributed or scattered across multiple liquidity pools. It is a problem because you get, as a user, you get the best price when you have an access to a liquidity pool with the deepest liquidity. But it is virtually impossible because there will be multiple DEXs, there will be multiple liquidity pools. So the solution is, or how we see the solution, is to uh, build a protocol which, I would say, combines or unifies or unites this liquidity, so that our protocol is connected to all these liquidity sources, all these liquidity pools, DEXs, and so on. And we are also connected, or our protocol is connected to multiple apps, meaning that these apps and their users, they can get access to all the liquidity, which is still fragmented. But since the integration is made via our protocol, for them, this liquidity is, I would say, like combined, right? Which technically our protocol just finds the best pool or combines the pools. So when the user trades a token, our protocol finds the best route to find the best price. And it is done via getting access to all the liquidity pools. And a user, in this case, doesn't need to think about it because it just, like, user just wants to swap a token. And in this case, our protocol enables users with that because they can forget about liquidity pools. Actually, they don't need to choose that.
They don't have to stress about, finding the best price because you already can offer that.
Yes, that's what we're doing. And actually, I would say for a normal, any normal guy, it is virtually impossible to find the best price because you need to go to all the DEXs, all the liquidity pools. You need to check everything, and then like check the prices and make a decision. It is very time consuming, and I believe that most people never do that. And in our case, I mean, when these apps use our protocol, they don't need to do that because we do that.
So from a technical standpoint of view, I mean, we see that AI is emerging.
Yep.
Do you think that, Stonfi or all these kind of aggregation layers, will it be improved, or is this like, let's say, the highest possibility of offering this to users in the sense like, does it get affected by, the AI trading agents in that sense?
It will be, definitely. We're working on that, and I know that lots of teams are working on that because, well, AI agents, it is the thing, right? Everyone is speaking about this. And of course, we are working on that, meaning that AI and AI agents, they will be integrated in our protocols and in our application as well. Because, well, I don't see, I would say, much influence right now because I think that most teams, they're trying to find the best use case or find the best use cases. Uh, because, when we're just talking about that, it is, well, it may sound easy, like, you know, just you want to have an agent, you want to tell your agent, just, trade tokens on my behalf and find the best prices, or just, I have $100, but I want to have, let's say, $200, please do something. And then some magic happens. There is some kind of an AI agent doing some magical stuff, and then users get yields on that. But it may sound simple and easy, but in reality, there are no such use cases as of now, at least for the TON blockchain. And but of course, we will see these use cases in the future. And I think that I don't think, I mean, like, I'm sure that the best possible use cases will be implemented by us in terms of AI agents as well.
Okay, makes sense. So what you're saying here is that definitely there is a need for an aggregation layer and AI can sit on top of that, but it's definitely not like the core element for, swapping between different chains and getting the best
Hmm.
price opportunity.
Yeah, that's a good one. There are different layers. Well, first of all, of course, there is a liquidity layer. Our protocol, Omniston, which is a liquidity aggregation protocol, you can think of it as of a liquidity layer. So it provides access to all this liquidity. But yes, there is some kind of, I would say, a black box. We can imagine a black box sitting on top, and there is some kind of an AI agent inside this black box. Uh, so, in a sense, it is like a separate thing which is attached to the liquidity layer. But at the same time, we can think that we can say that there are multiple layers for AI agents as well, because there is an intent layer, because this AI agent, it should understand the user. So it should understand what a user wants, right? First. And second, there is an execution layer, because this agent, it should be able to actually do something with the assets, because it is not it's not enough just to understand the user. Then something should be done with their assets. So there are multiple layers even inside these AI agents. So I would say that yes, we can say that there is a liquidity layer and there is some kind of an AI agent or multiple agents sitting on top, but at the same time, they should be interconnected, because, well, an intent layer, it is on top, but the execution layer, it should be deeply integrated with the liquidity protocol.
Right. What's like the highest demand you've seen right now with the, you know, interpret, because you have this cross-chain feature, right? So, what kind of blockchains are kind of in a big demand between swapping? Like, you think, is it Solana, Ethereum? If you can give us some insights, that.
Th- That's a very good question, because when you say that, like, what is the best blockchain to be connected next, right? Because we are going cross-chain, meaning that we need to choose. Uh, on one hand, it is like easy thing, like, to choose, because, well, we know that there are some use cases which are widely used. So there are stable coins. We know that the stable coins is the thing currently because lots of people use them, and also there are blockchains which are being used by these stable coins, and we can say that probably Tron is the most adopted blockchain for stable coins for USDT namely. So on one hand, it is like it is easy to answer, but at the same time, we don't know because we don't.
It's
We had
changes.
yes, because we don't know because uh, we should build that first, and only after that we will know which use case is actually adopted by our users. But so we need to start somehow. We need to choose the some blockchains to start with, and currently we're considering a few options. Of course, Tron, of course, Solana, maybe Sui, and some other blockchains. But the beauty is that in that is that when we connect the first blockchain, then it will be very easy for us to connect like the others. So it'll take maybe weeks, but it can be done very quickly.
Okay, that's amazing to hear. Can you walk us through your thoughts on stables, RWAs? Because I think now after the Genius Act, stablecoins have seen such a huge demand, like you with Tether, with Circle.
Yep.
How are you seeing it from your view? What's your thoughts on stablecoins in the future? Especially since like they're available on multiple chains, like you can definitely trade and swap USDC on like Solana,
Yep.
on Sonic, Ethereum.
Um, we will see more usage definitely because, well, stablecoins, they have a very understandable use case. So for users, even for those who are not that crypto savvy, they understand stable coins because they know money, right? So it is like money, but in some kind of a digital form, because most of them, I mean, most of these users, they don't even need to think or to know about blockchain. They don't need this stuff. They just know that there is some kind of digital money which can be used safely and securely because there is some magical tech behind it, right? And so for most users, I think it's enough, and they understand that because they use like stable coins in real life. I mean, by stable coins in real life, I mean they use real, like, not real, but fiat money, right?
Right.
So
It's pegged like the
it is
USDC.
very easy to understand the use case. So if you want to pay for something, you can use a stable coin because, well, because it is stable. And that's why we will see more usage. But of course, there will be more sophisticated use cases, some yield strategies, and so on. And there are so many options, and I don't think that I can tell you which use cases exactly will be used more widely in the future because I just don't know. But what I know is that I know the reasons why stablecoins are so widely used, and definitely we will see more use cases with them.
You mentioned such a good point about stablecoins is that a lot of people are actually sending stables to one another without realizing that, this is actually on the blockchain, or they're not even overthinking about this. What are you doing right now with Stonfi regarding making the user experience easy and intuitive for the TON ecosystem?
Multiple things. Well, first of all, since we're building on the TON blockchain and it is integrated with Telegram, it means that we need to use, I would say, Telegram native experience. So we're doing that because we want our application and applications to be integrated with Telegram, and so that Telegram users can use these applications. So they should be inside Telegram. So that's the first thing. And that's why, by the way, why we are building these protocols, because these protocols, they can be used and they are used by developers, by those who build applications for Telegram. Because in Telegram there are mini apps, so that basically users, they don't need to leave Telegram. They can do everything inside Telegram. So that's the first point. The second point is that um, even if we forget about Telegram, let's say, because we have our own web app, And we are doing multiple things to provide, I would say, reimagined user experience, because for DEX or any swap application, there are multiple features there, usually like a swap feature, liquidity provision feature, farming, and so on. And what we're doing now is that we combine these multiple features with multiple steps into one step, so that a user can swap a token, provide liquidity, uh, stake LP tokens in the farm, and all done with a single transaction. Just without browsing around this application, without going to different tabs in your browser, just one page. And on this page, you can do everything and sign only one transaction instead of, let's say, three.
Yeah, that's
So that's what we are doing. We are, I would say, redesigning this DeFi experience. But I would say that we are searching. We saw great traction for the first application we built with this approach, and we are building more. But of course, we might see other use cases and other approaches that we will need to test.
okay. That's very wonderful. So, Andrew, the last question I have for you, if someone builds the next major DeFi protocol on TON, what advice you give them based on what you've been learning so far with building Stonfi over the last years?
Okay, first, um, I would say they should think about Telegram UX, user experience, not crypto experience. Meaning that if you're building something for the TON blockchain, and TON is integrated, like all the native blockchain for Telegram, then it means that you need to understand Telegram, you need to understand how Telegram works, you need to use applications and so on. But these users, Telegram has 1 billion users, that's a lot. And you should understand as a developer that most of them, they're not that tech savvy, not that crypto savvy. They are unfamiliar with this stuff. But uh, nevertheless, they are potential users for your application, which means that you need to take that into account and to build this user experience while um, taking into account Telegram UX. Because, well, quite often developers, they think about sophisticated use cases. They believe that they're building something for crypto, which is true. But at the same time, it may happen that they build too, I would say, complex and complicated apps and so on, which is totally fine for those who are deep in crypto. But for, I would say, the majority of users, it is too complicated. But Telegram is easy. So they need to think about Telegram and how to integrate their apps and their use cases and features and so on into Telegram experience, so that it feels like native Telegram native experience. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, or what we've seen at least, that when these app developers, they start building their applications, quite often they struggle with getting access to liquidity, because again they see the same problem, because there are multiple liquidity pools, multiple dexes, multiple protocols, and they need to integrate all of them in their application in order, if they want to provide the best prices. So in this case, my advice is that you shouldn't integrate all these liquidity sources, because it is so time consuming, it is difficult to maintain, and like just usually doesn't make any sense, because now there are liquidity aggregation protocols and you should think infra first, so that you find the best liquidity aggregation protocol, or any kind of an infra protocol which you can connect to and get access to all this liquidity via this protocol. Of course, we advise to use our protocol, but there are multiple protocols and they can choose. But the advice is, do not try to connect all the liquidity sources, because it's impossible. But use the infrastructural solutions which exist.
Okay, that's amazing and valuable advice, especially the fact that you mentioned about building experience for the user, also from the standpoint that it's built on Telegram, it's for Telegram users. So it's a very different experience so far. Well, thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us today on CoinGape. I'd like to share with you this special edition news paper. This is
Thank you.
for you as well. And we hope to join you in the next endeavors for Stonfi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.